Alright, is everybody surviving nowadays? I hope so. Anyway, so the reason why I haven't been on YouTube in quite a while is because I was trying to get things done around my house and, trying to keep it together since I'm stuck indoors all day long. That and I got the DLCs for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I mean, come on, I'm in quarantine. What do you expect me to do? So anyway, I thought to myself after getting done with the very first one, I thought, you know what? Not a lot of people review the DLCs, and people would like to know exactly what the DLCs add to a game and whatnot. And since I never see any reviews of it, I thought it'd be fun to review these two. Well, since I'm a reviewer, might as well do it. Anyway, for me personally, when it comes to games, it has to be something that's worth my money. It has to be a fun game. It has to have the elements, story, characters, plot, action, gameplay, all that such has to go with the game in general, because games are like $60, and if it's not worth the playthrough or the time limit, it just gives you just nothing for plain old $60, then why bother buying it? But also there has been a big thing nowadays that's called DLCs. And DLCs add on to some of our favorite games. Sometimes they're like second chapters, sometimes they're extra stuff, sometimes they're a complete waste of time. Like for example, when EA's Battlefront came out, they gave us only a part of the game and they released everything else on DLCs. We call bull crap on that. So yeah, they were sued and the company went downhill from there. And for a lot of DLCs, they can charge you so much money, like $10, $20, maybe even the same price of the game. And when you play through it, it's just not even worth it. And that's what I thought about half the DLCs from Fallout 4. Yeah, the building ones. That's not worth the money. So I'm going to review these two because since the Hearts of Stone, the one I'm going to review now, cost me about $10, I thought to myself, okay, is it worth the $10? Or should it be a simple pass? Because The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is a fantastic game, and there's nothing I could say or do that can prove to say how great it is that people have not already said about it. So, all in all, I got that out of the way. Let's talk about Hearts of Stone. And I will get to Blood and Wine sooner or later. It will probably take me until December of next year, I guess. What can I say? It's a long game. It's a whole lot of fun, and you just get lost in the imagination. So anyway, Hearts of Stone starts off, Geralt goes to the Seven Cats Inn and he picks up a contract. And a contract that is written by, what's his name? Olgierd von Everec. Olgierd von Everec, he runs a band of men that are kind of, well, they're not exactly the friendliest guys you want to meet. Let's just say that you see that gang right there, you know they're bad news and you just want to keep on driving. That's these people right here. So they're kind of shady and everything, but he has a contract of hunting down this monster that's underneath the Oxenford sewers. And even if you have the option to choose your price and everything, there's a big difference. He says, name your price. What do you want? 300? 400? 450? You can just name the price. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, so money is not an issue here. So anyway, Geralt goes to Oxenford, goes down into the sewers, and he runs into an old fling of his named Shani. Shani is a doctor. She's not a sorceress like Triss or Yennefer is, so she's kind of she's different to all the other girls that Geralt's had a relationship with. And she is a whole lot of fun. She's a whole lot of fun to interact with in this whole DLC, and I'll get to her in a minute. Let's just keep on with the story so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, you finally meet the monster, and turns out it's this giant toad. And you'd think giant toads, it seems kind of lazy work. Anyway, this giant toad has like 2 jaws that open up at the bottom. It's really big, and that tongue will get you no matter what. It is very hard to get this toad with your sword. You mostly have to use your magic, your signs, and everything. And I like that. I like that turn of you need to have a different way of fighting in order to take this thing down. However, once when Geralt defeats the toad, it turns out that toad turns into a person, and it was not any monster at all. It was a person under a curse. In which Olgierd himself put that man under the curse and wanted to get him killed off. But anyway, it turns out that cursed man was a prince, and his men just so happened to be there at the very last second, and they arrest Geralt to take him back to the kingdom to be executed and everything. But while on the ship heading towards their lands, Gaunter O'Deem shows up. Now, if you don't know who Gaunter O'Deem is, even if you played The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, he's the guy at the very beginning of the game. You ask around for Yennefer at the inn, whatever, and immediately he says, Yennefer of Vengerberg. That's what you're looking for, right? Wait, how did you know? Once when I hear something, can't remember it, can't help it. Well, it turns out there's a whole lot more to him than what they really showed us in the game, and it was really interesting at first, partially, but it was kind of forgettable after he's gone and everything, because he never shows up ever in the game. But in Hearts of Stone, he does show up, and apparently he wants Geralt to go back to Olgierd and have him do 3 tasks for him in order for Olgierd to pay off his debts and everything. And in order to make sure that Geralt will follow his rules, he puts a brand on the side of his head, which is a cool looking brand and everything. But Geralt wants to get rid of it, don't know why, because he has a scar right here, and his famous scar over his left eye that everybody freaked out about during the TV show run, which is easily explained, but I'll get to that if I ever review the TV show. Anyway, Geralt goes back to him, and now he has to perform 3 tasks for him to get this thing done. And I gotta say, these tasks are really fun. They're a whole lot of fun. I mean, there's his brother, Olgierd's brother, that Geralt has to give him the time of his life for 1 day and everything. Problem is, his brother's dead. And his brother is awesome. I loved his brother big time, because usually when people ask a ghost how they die, they always say, oh, it's such a sad story. It's hard for me to think about it. As for his brother, he's like, oh no, just ask away. I love this story. Oh, what a day that was. Man, that was a whole lot of fun. He was a whole lot of fun to play, and since he possesses Geralt and they go to this wedding with Shani and the whole shabam, it was a whole lot of fun to watch, and it's a whole lot of fun to play. I have to give it credit where credit's due, and it was. And then the second task is that he needs to get this house, this small house, I thought it was a big house, but I guess not, from this guy who is going through this auction. And you meet some interesting people there, and also you get to auction out you get to buy all the stuff that they auction out and everything. Yes, I bought them all. What can I say? It was a whole lot of fun. Anyway, so that didn't exactly work out as planned, so there's this heist that's involved, and getting that all planned out is simply how you want it to go and everything, and yeah, give credit where credit's due. And the third task is getting a rose from his wife. But apparently his wife is really another story and everything. Because, well, let's just say that'll be a big spoiler, so I'm going to let you play the game to figure it out. And the interesting thing about all these characters, these new characters, I gotta say, Geralt is the same guy that we all know and love, so there's nothing really new about him. So I gotta talk about the stuff that is in the game impersonally. And for Shani herself, she was a whole lot of fun. I mean, she is energetic, she's loving, she is a whole lot of fun for a party and everything. It's just too bad that you can't have let's just say holding on romance. You can actually romance her, but it won't last long like it does with either Triss or Yennefer, so that was kind of disappointing. I don't know, it's just what I thought. And what other characters? Oh yeah, Gaunter O'Deem. This guy surprised me. He was a whole lot cooler than I thought he was going to be. And he did not disappoint either. because he has this whole mystery in the beginning of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt that you kind of forgot about, but once when Hearts of Stone starts, you're thinking to yourself, I should have paid more attention to this guy, because there's more to him than meets the eye. But the guy that completely steals the show is Olgierd himself. Maybe it's because he has no emotions, he's kind of stone-faced, he laughs things off all the time, doesn't feel like he loves anything. He's basically everything that everybody believes the Witchers are. Heartless beings that are mutations. As for him, he's basically immortal. Some guy even stabs him in the back and he just walks around saying, you know, I actually was nice to you, but you stabbed me right here in the chest, so I guess I'm going to kill you now. And all that such. At least that's what I think it is. It's pretty long, so I got to give it credit for that as well. So anyway, he steals the show. The biggest downer that I got with this whole DLC is that there are no new contracts. See, I thought that now that we're getting a bigger expansion of this world and everything, I get to hunt down more monsters. We don't get any of that, so that was a big downer. But I will give it credit for this. That was actually a flaw in the original game personally, because on the main map there is Velen and there is Novigrad. And when you get to Velen, you have this whole space to run around and everything, but when you're in Novigrad, it's like the map's cut in half. You can go everywhere in Novigrad in the city, but all this area right here, oh, that's just the end of the world. No one goes there. Now the game kind of released that part, and that's basically the new world that we got to be involved with, and still I'm thinking to myself, that's a little bit disappointing, because I was looking forward to more worlds that I get to explore with this. And another thing that that kind of disappointed me about that is that there's not a lot of new monsters at all. I mean, there's these spider things that run around that are super annoying to kill, and the giant toad. What can I say? It was really disappointing, but I will give it credit that at the mansion scene, that caretaker was creepy, and that painted realm that Geralt has to go to and everything, that was very creative. When I saw the broken down mansion, the caretaker, the painted world, the monsters in there, or at least the ghosts following you around in there, I thought to myself, well, somebody saw Silent Hill. So give credit where credit's due. So guys, in the end, I gotta say, Hearts of Stone does have its flaws, but they're so small that they're not exactly big flaws. It is a whole lot of fun to play. It is a lot of hours wasted. You can tell that I've basically spent a lot of days on this. I love the characters. I love the interactions. The choices you make are exactly what they are like in the original Witcher game. Like, for example, in the original, you have to be very careful with your choices because they lead to big things down the road. You know, like what we've seen in Game of Thrones or Telltale games and all that such. Tough choices that we have to make that leads to one of the endings or whatever. This one also has that, and I love that. I love that it has the same formula. I love the story that it has. Hearts of Stone is definitely worth buying and definitely worth adding on to The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. So guys, Hearts of Stone, did you get it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.